I'm dreaming of a white Oscars. It was either that or Tradition from Fiddler on the Roof. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Omni-Viewer, and last night, that is to say on February 22nd, I sat down to watch the 87th Academy Awards because I wanted to do a reaction video. I had said in my Secret of Kells review a little while back that I really don't like the Academy Awards these days. And I gave all sorts of reasons there. You can watch the video, watch it twice, send it to friends if you want. But anyway, the point is, I wasn't really a big fan of the Oscars. But since I'm doing a YouTube channel now, I figured I'd actually try to force myself to watch the newest one to do a little reaction video. And that was an evening wasted. Nothing's changed, really. I really can't say that the Oscars were all that good. I have plenty of notes. I have my computer by me so that I know I get names and things right. But this is just going to be me completely unscripted telling you my thoughts on the Oscars. I am sorry. I'm working on better stuff, I promise. So, one of the big deals for this Oscars, the Academy Awards 87th one, which sounded really awkward when I said it, was that Neil Patrick Harris was the host. He has, of course, been killing it as the host of the Tonys recently. He's well on his way to becoming the host of just about everything ever. Give it a few more years, he'll probably be swearing in the President of the United States. So, of course, we expected a lot out of him as the Oscars host. He started out strong. That moving pictures number, which I'm sure you can find somewhere on YouTube, that was a strong opening, very reminiscent of what he does for the Tonys. Unfortunately, after that, it was not really up to speed with what I know he's capable of. His jokes were kind of awkward and falling flat. And I know why. About halfway through the show, I figured out why that was happening. I think it's because of the medium. When he's on the Tonys, hosting those, you can tell he's into it, 120%. Theater is his passion. He's a theater guy. He can really get into that, and he'll put everything he's got into it, especially because it's something he loves to celebrate. With movies, though, Neil Patrick Harris isn't really a movie guy. He's been in movies, obviously. He's been in some just this past year. But you don't necessarily associate Neil Patrick Harris with film. You associate him with TV, perhaps. Definitely with theater these days. And animation. But, I don't know. It seemed like he wasn't as into the idea of hosting a movie award show as he would have been hosting a theater award show, and I think that came across. It's not that he wasn't trying. I fully realized that he was doing everything he could. I just don't think it was as good a hosting job as we've seen him do in the past. Not that it was awful, but I don't know. That's just my opinion. I didn't think he was horrible, but I've seen him do better. That's just my feeling. One day I might very well meet him and wind up having to explain myself. Or maybe he'll agree, who knows. Anyway, so as far as the awards go, we have all the categories, you know them all, you can look up the results. I can't really say there were any surprises. That is a lie. There was one surprise. There was one very big surprise for me as far as the awards go, and that was Best Actor in a Leading Role, which was Eddie Redmayne, or however you pronounce his name. I think that's how you do it. Who played, Raymond played, I'm gonna look up his actual name, just a moment. Eddie Redmayne. He, of course, played Stephen Hawking in The Theory of Everything. And that was the only real surprise as far as the awards go. because, I mean, first of all, Theory of Everything had been nominated in a bunch of categories, but hadn't really won anything by that point. And, of course, you have things like American Sniper, which was hugely successful in leading up to the Oscars. You had Birdman and The Imitation Game. Those were some pretty big things to go up against. Foxcatcher, I honestly don't know if people remembered Foxcatcher even existed, but anyway, to have this guy win, that was genuinely surprising to me. I did not expect it, and he had one of the best reactions. He was just so excited about it. But that was the only surprise. Everything else, not necessarily that I predicted it 100%, but I wasn't necessarily shocked. Once they, like, pretty much every time Grand Budapest Hotel, or Next Grand Budapest Hotel, I should say, was mentioned in a category, I was 95% certain that it was going to win. Unless Birdman was also in that category, in which case, 90. Birdman, of course, was taking other things, because if there are two things that the Academy loves, one, it's apparently Wes Anderson, and two, it's movies about show business. So of course Birdman is going to be taking all sorts of awards, even though it's tangentially connected to superheroes. Speaking of which, the Best Makeup Award. I felt like history repeated itself a little there. You remember back in, must have been 2009, whatever year Academy that was, whatever Oscars were that year, when The Curious Case of Benjamin Button won Best Makeup and Best Special Effects. You remember when that happened? That was when I really, really gave up on the Oscars, because The Curious Case of Benjamin Button beat Hellboy 2 for Best Makeup and beat Iron Man for Best Visual Effects, just for making Brad Pitt age backwards. The troll market, that has all sorts of original creatures, plus 2 comic book characters who look like they stepped right out of the comic book page. 3, actually. I forgot about Johann Kraus. All of them, or most of them, realized practically with prosthetics and animatronics and stuff, beaten by age makeup. A fully functioning mechanical suit built from the inside out, designed to look photorealistic, beaten by age makeup. What the heck? I know the Academy is full of old white people and they're going to go with what appeals to them, but come on. The troll market lost Best Makeup, and this time Guardians of the Galaxy lost, again, to age makeup. That was ridiculous to me. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy had great makeup. I mean, Drax the Destroyer and... Gamora, yes. For the most part, Gamora still looked like Zoe Saldana. They enhanced her features only a little. But Drax, he was like covered in these weird scar tissue that, are they tattoos or are they burns? You don't know. But that was impressive stuff, and he wasn't the only one. There were all sorts of characters who had really good-looking makeup that made them look completely inhuman. And that lost to age makeup? I don't get it. Then again, the Academy pretty much made it very clear during that self-same ceremony that I mentioned with Hellboy 2 and such, that they are going to be as anti-superhero as possible. And that continued in this one when Interstellar took the Special Effects Award. And it beat... what did it beat? I'm sorry, this is why I try not to do unscripted stuff as frequently. Okay, it beat Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, there were also Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and X-Men Days of Future Past in there. Winter Soldier, it had good special effects. It wasn't reliant on special effects. Neither was Days of Future Past, really. They had a lot of... you know what I mean. You've probably seen these movies. But to beat out Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and Guardians of the Galaxy, Interstellar, from what I've seen, I haven't actually seen the movie yet, from what I've seen, it has good special effects, but it doesn't have fully realized digital characters like Guardians and Dawn did. There was a time when digital characters were, they were the side thing, but for Guardians and Dawn, digital characters were front and center for the most part. Especially in Guardians. You had two of them, Rocket Raccoon and Groot. And that somehow lost. I don't get that. Well, I get it, but I don't like it. Okay, other things. Anyone else notice that the sound was awful during the singing? I noticed that happening a couple Oscars ago. I don't remember exactly when. Last year, year before. But during the singing portions, where they're singing the Oscar-nominated songs, the sound just starts fading in and out like they're trying to adjust because the singers start belting out really powerfully, and it's like someone in the sound mixing booth is going, too loud, now it's too soft, too loud, too soft, too loud, too soft. And, they rehearse these things, don't they? Shouldn't they have been prepared? It's weird that happens, and it's a shame, too, because there was some good singing. Glory, the song that won, which is one of the things I agree with, that actually was a really good song. The sound was cutting in and out of that and kind of took away from it a little. Not too much, but just enough that it was distracting, and I couldn't just enjoy the show because I was thinking, there goes the sound again. Or Lady Gaga's tribute to The Sound of Music. That, for me, came right the heck out of nowhere. I think for a lot of people it came right the heck out of nowhere. But I was pleasantly surprised by that. I'm not a fan of Lady Gaga. I'm going to be upfront about that. I do not like the music she is known for. And I especially don't like the fact that she actually has musical talent, like genuine, classically trained musical talent, and a beautiful voice, and she's wasting it on stuff like Gaga, ooh la la, terrible sounding stuff. But this was nice. She really did those songs justice, let me tell you. If she did more music like that, I might actually, it'd be easier for me to enjoy her stuff. And her moment with Julie Andrews at the end, that seemed really nice. I'm not even sure she was expecting that. But, well, all the same, the sound was terrible in that part as well. I don't know what is going on with the Oscars. I've never noticed that with the Tonys. Then again, they have people who have to mix live sound pretty much on a daily basis running that stuff. So, yeah, I don't get why the sound kept cutting out during the songs. Ironically, that didn't seem to happen as much with Everything is Awesome. But the Everything is Awesome performance wasn't really the best, if you ask me. I don't know what it was that rubbed me the wrong way about it. I liked that they had the Lego props and they gave Lego Oscars to people, and that Emma Stone, I think it was holding on to hers throughout the rest of the ceremony. But, I don't know, the singing itself, pardon me, the singing itself felt off. I don't know why. It seemed like they were flat or not harmonizing properly. I'd have to see it again, but that would require having to see it again, and I'm not sure I want to. So, yeah, I wasn't all that crazy about that part. There were also some weird parts. Getting back to what Neil was talking about, sometimes his jokes weren't necessarily the most opportune. Like, one of those should have thought it through first sounded good in my head. Like, when Citizen 4 won for Best Documentary Short, I think it was Best Documentary Short, wasn't it? It was somewhere. Well, you know what Citizen 4 is. That's the one about Snowden and all the controversy about him leaking information and privacy invasion and whatnot. And after the acceptance speech is given about freedom of privacy and it's kind of political, I'll come back to that topic in a moment, but then it's building it up like it's a good thing, and then Neil Patrick Harris comes in and says, Snowden couldn't be here for some treason. That was sort of like, I don't know, that was like following up a funeral service with a fart joke. Yeah. I really hope he does better next time he hosts the Tonys, which, I don't know. But anyway, I said I was going to talk about the whole political speech part. Now, there were like 3, 4, 5 maybe acceptance speeches that kind of, the people giving them use them as platforms. I don't like when that happens. It's not because I disagree with what's being said. I mean, like, Patricia Arquette, she got up there to say equal wages for women, women's lib, feminism. I don't disagree with her, and I'm going to be very specific about this because I know that just bringing up the feminism word is enough to start a war on the internet. So I'm going to be very clear. I'm not disagreeing with the whole feminism aspect. Nor am I necessarily going, ooh, rah, paleo-feminism, because I know someone's going to accuse me of that too if I'm not careful. I'm completely indifferent. This channel is not about my political opinions. Back on topic. The fact that they do it at all, that these people get up there and use their acceptance speech as a way to try and spread their agendas, I don't like that. Not because of what they say, but because of the fact that they're saying it. An acceptance speech to me is supposed to be you getting up there and expressing your gratitude for the fact that people, some of whom you probably haven't even met, have decided that your work is worthy of recognition. You deserve to have this award. And that's where you get up there and you say that you appreciate it. You are very grateful for these opportunities. You're grateful to be in this career field. To me, when you get up there and say, thanks, but now I'm going to talk about the stuff that I really want to push on you, and you have to listen to me because this is my moment, and don't you dare play me off, that just seems... That seems so rude to me, somehow. Like, I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way. If I ever get an Oscar or an award of any sort, I would just use it to thank the people who matter. And, of course, I'm not ever going to get an Oscar, not because I'm never going to make it in entertainment, which I don't know. But even if I did make it in the film industry, of course, I would work in the genres that the Academy hates. But anyway, point of the matter is, I don't like it when people do that, and I hope I probably haven't made it entirely clear because I'm going completely unscripted, but my feeling is that it's just plain rude. And the fact that Patricia Arquette in particular, I'm sorry I keep focusing on her, actually included a website you can visit that felt like a commercial. It honestly felt like they were going to give her a little extra money if she included them in her speech. And she wasn't the only one who did it. I will be clear, she was not the only one who did it. The people who directed Citizen 4, who made that, they did it too. To me, the one who did it the best, let me quickly look up so I know. It was a documentary feature. It was Alejandro G. Oh, good Lord. No, that wasn't him. That was original. I got a bit confused there for a second. It was Graham Moore for The Imitation Game. When he got up there, and it almost sounded like he was going to use his acceptance speech as a way to do a gay rights thing, but then he makes it personal. Instead of saying instead of getting all political, he said when he was a teenager, he tried to kill himself because he didn't feel like he fit in. But now, all of a sudden, here he is with an Oscar for a movie that really mattered to him, that he wrote, and that meant so much to him. That, I think, is how you do something like that. You don't make it obvious that you've got an agenda, if you even have an agenda. You make it personal. You make it about not yourself, but you form a rapport with them. If it really means that much to you. That way it doesn't sound like you're talking at them. You are connecting with them. Let's see. Now, Best Animated Feature. This is one of the very reasons why I wanted to do this, because back in my Secret of Kells review, which again I encourage you to watch if you haven't yet, I briefly mentioned that I think the Best Animated Feature category should be completely eliminated from the Oscars. But I also said that that was a tale for another day. Well, this is another day. This is a different video. And my feeling about the elimination of the Animated Feature Award, I think it should be eliminated because it's insulting. Now, here's the whole reason why the Best Animated Film category was invented in the first place. Because for a long time, it didn't even exist in the Oscars. They didn't want anything to do with animation, because somehow that's the lowest form of entertainment. I will never understand why people think that. It should be one of the highest, because it's limited only by your imagination. But anyway, 90s rolled around, and Disney was experiencing its second renaissance with all of its animated features. You know all the ones, the classic ones, The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, particularly Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast got nominated for Best Feature. Didn't win, but at least as far as no, there's no way it could have won. But it did get nominated, and the Academy felt incredibly dirty for doing that. Because, like I said, they don't like animation as an art form. So they created the Best Animated Feature category to ensure that that would never have to happen again. They could give Disney the awards for making their great movies that everyone loves without feeling like they're compromising their morals somehow. So, if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about why this category should be dropped, then I don't know what will. But maybe this will. Here you go. Like I said, I think the category is insulting. Specifically, it's insulting to all the people who work on those films. Every other film that gets nominated for Best Feature, Best Live Action Feature we're talking now, they get nominated in other categories too. Cinematography, sound mixing, effects if it's applicable, sometimes it is. Actor, supporting actor, actress, supporting actress. Those are the category names. Screenplay, adapted or original, depending. All these different things. Because each one of those things goes into making it the best picture. But just as much effort goes into an animated film. In fact, pretty much every animated film ever made can be nominated in almost all of those other categories. Obviously, makeup and costumes don't apply, and it's all a visual effect, so that probably doesn't apply either. But actor, director, screenplay, editing, sound mixing, those are all just as big a part of an animated film as a live action film. And yet, a couple years ago, when Up was nominated for Best Feature, and of course it didn't win, But when Up was nominated for Best Feature, the only other category it was nominated in was Best Animated Feature, which it did win. But think about that for a minute. It was worthy of being recognized as Best Feature, but no other element of it was somehow deserving. So it was worthy to be counted among the best films of that year, but its director wasn't worthy of being counted among the best directors. Its writer wasn't worthy of being counted among the best writers. Its editor was not worthy of being counted among the best editors. That's crazy. That is freaking crazy. There's no way that makes any sense. So, not to mention the fact that usually Best Animated Feature nominates movies that are completely different from each other. It marginalizes animation, makes it all paste pudding, goes with the idea that animation is a genre rather than a medium, which is really aggravating to me. That's hard to talk about this time around because they were all kind of similar in genre, because you had Box Trolls Big Hero 6, which won, Disney, big shock, How to Train Your Dragon 2, Song of the Sea, from the people who made Secret of Kells, actually. I've really wanted to see that. But you've got... So they were all kind of similar in genre this time, but again, thinking back to a couple years ago, there was a time when Happy Feet, Monster House, and Cars were all nominated in the same category. Now, think about that for a moment. They're very different genres. Live action category, it's usually a very hard-hitting emotional drama set in the real world. Bonus points if it's a historical piece. But animated feature, like I said, Happy Feet, Monster House, Cars. Environmentalist, jukebox musical, 80s style horror comedy, and attempt to make a Disney line version of Hot Wheels. Completely different from each other. You wouldn't compare those three films in any other category but this. I mean, of this year's Best Live Action Feature nominees, sure, you might be able to compare Whiplash to Birdman. But would you compare Whiplash to Guardians of the Galaxy? Would you compare Birdman to Godzilla? Would you compare Selma to Captain America the Winter Soldier? They're completely different ends of the spectrum. I don't think they deserve to be compared to each other, because it's not just apples and oranges, it's apples and skyscrapers. They're not even in the same category. So the animated feature category, I think, should be dropped, and animated features should get their own Oscar-style ceremony. That's my feeling. And rant over. So, other things about the award ceremony, because looking down at the little bar here, this is running a little long. The way Sean Penn announced Best Feature, how he came out looking completely and utterly drunk and stoned off his nut. And then that delay when he opened the envelope and what he said. I don't think Sean Penn should be allowed to deliver awards anymore. Not after that. The moment between Alec Baldwin and... No, not Alec Baldwin. John Travolta. Sorry. The moment between John Travolta and Idina Menzel, that was a callback to the last time. That was funny. Neil's gimmick with the Oscar predictions, I don't know how I feel about that. What else? I already mentioned the music cutting in and out, which was... When Terrence Howard got really emotional, that was interesting. It sounded like he knocked over the mic almost. like I said, there were no real surprises. The in memoriam part. That every Oscars they do the in memoriam reel where it's a little tribute to all of the people in the business who have passed away. Not just actors, but set designers, anyone, executive producers. And this might just have been my imagination, but it seemed to me like when they got to Robin Williams' portion, because of course we lost Robin Williams last year, it felt like they held on him just a second or two longer than anyone else. That might have just been my imagination. I don't know. But I'd have to see it again, or maybe someone else can tell me if they noticed it too. What else? Anything else at all? Well, I guess not really. Oh, there was a moment where Neil Patrick Harris's microphone died right before a commercial break. They forgot to turn it back on. That was the other major sound issue. Plus, wait a minute. I just remembered this. Did anyone else see the feathers? There were feathers falling out of the sky, out of the ceiling in a couple shots. And I have no idea what they were doing there or where they were coming from. I mean, I would have blamed it on one of Lady Gaga's dresses molting, but she was dressed normally for this performance. So, it was weird to see. I don't think I've seen that in any other Oscars. So, does anyone know what that was about? Please tell me if you do, because I am very curious. But, yeah. Otherwise, 87th Academy Awards, second verse same as the first, or in this case, 87th verse same as the first. No surprises to be had. Rather awkward hosting. Yes, Neil Patrick Harris was in his underwear. I know everyone's talking about that. I saw it for the stunt that it was. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why I bothered, because this was really bad. But I gotta make use of it somehow, so here, those are my thoughts. And that will pretty much be it. I got some work to do on some other actually scripted and professional videos, and I have taken up enough of your time as it is. So, until such time as we meet again, this is the Omni-Viewer signing off. Tradition, tradition.